If your feet feel numb, tingly, or like you're walking on cotton wool, your nervous system is sending you a signal you shouldn't ignore. Let me tell you about Karen. For 2 years, every morning started the same way: cold feet that couldn't warm up, a tingling that crept up her shins by evening. She assumed it was simply part of getting older. She was wrong. After she started 4 simple chair exercises, she slept through the night for the first time in 2 years, and it took just 3 weeks. Today, I'm walking you through those same 4 moves, the ones that stop the tingling and begin restoring feeling in numb feet after 60. Every exercise is done sitting down. You can start the first one within a minute of this video. And I want you to stay through to the fourth, because that's the one that finally gave Karen her feet back. If your feet tingle, burn, or go numb at night, type the word feet in the comments right now. It helps me understand how many of you are quietly dealing with this, and honestly, it tells me what to cover next. I'm Dr. David Coleman. Before we move a single muscle, I want to answer the question everyone watching is probably asking. Is this just poor circulation, or is something deeper going on? Here's everything ahead. What research out of a major hospital nerve study actually found happening inside dormant nerve tissue, and why it's more hopeful than most people expect. A short warm-up to prepare your feet before the main routine. 4 specific chair exercises, each targeting a different part of the problem. A cool-down sequence, and exactly how Karen's recovery unfolded week by week. Let's get into it. The hidden problem. The honest answer is, it's much deeper than simple circulation. Research coming out of a major hospital nerve study looked specifically at seniors experiencing that tingling, burning cotton wool sensation in their feet, and what they found was genuinely striking. The nerves in the feet weren't permanently destroyed. They had simply gone dormant from a lack of specific stimulation. Here's the part that matters most. When these seniors performed targeted lower limb movements, skin biopsies afterward showed they had actually grown new nerve fiber branches. A quiet nerve can be woken back up. That's the promise behind everything we're doing today. We're not just chasing warmth in your feet. We're sending a direct biological signal that helps dormant nerves switch themselves back on. Quick pattern interrupt. Think about how much of your day is spent in shoes, on flat floors, sitting still. Every one of those things, individually harmless, adds up to nerve tissue that receives almost no varied stimulation for years at a time. That's a large part of what we're correcting today. One important note before we start. This routine is designed for waking up tired, age-related nerve tissue. If you're managing severe diabetes or you notice any sudden changes in your feet, please keep your own doctor in the loop as you try this. The warm-up. We begin by waking the pathways gently before the main exercises. Sit tall in your chair with both feet flat on the floor. Slowly roll each ankle 10 times in one direction, then 10 times the other way. This immediately encourages blood flow down into the feet. Next, gently tap both feet on the floor 20 times, alternating left and right like a soft, steady drum. That's all it takes to tell your nervous system that a change is coming. Now we're ready for the first real exercise. Exercise 1. The seated toe, raise and spread. If your toes feel stiff, curled, or somehow disconnected from the rest of your foot, the nerve pathways controlling them have gone quiet. This move sends a direct signal up those pathways, from your toes, through your feet, and into your lower legs. If you're able to, slip off your shoes and socks for this one. Bare skin against the floor gives your nerves a kind of sensory input they almost never receive anymore. The floor itself becomes a genuine input source for a nervous system that's spent years wrapped in thick soles. How to do it: sit tall, both feet flat. Lift all 10 toes as high as you can and hold for 3 seconds, feeling the pull along the top of your foot. Now spread those raised toes as wide apart as possible and hold for 2 more seconds. Lower them slowly back down. That's 1 repetition. Do 12. Pay attention to which toes respond easily and which stay quiet. For most people, the little toe moves the least, so give it your full attention on every spread. This is exactly the move that reached Karen first. She described her feet as 2 blocks of wood every morning. By the end of her first week, she told me her feet felt less like wood and more like feet again, not fully, but enough to genuinely notice. That noticing is precisely where recovery begins. Exercise 2. The seated calf pump with foot press. This one goes straight after the cold. If your feet stay cold even when the rest of you feels warm, your calves have stopped doing their job. Your calf is the most powerful circulation pump in your entire lower body, and when it sits still for hours, blood pools in the lower leg, leaving your feet starved of fresh, oxygen rich blood. Nerve tissue happens to be some of the hungriest tissue in the body for oxygen. So when it's starved, tingling and numbness tend to follow close behind. How to do it? Sitting tall, raise both heels as high as is comfortable, rising up onto the balls of your feet. At the very top, press the balls of your feet firmly into the floor for 2 seconds, feeling the squeeze through your calf and the spread of pressure through your arch. Lower slowly, controlling it all the way down. That's 1 repetition. Do 20 at a calm, even pace, roughly 1 full raise, and lower every 4 seconds. Think of it as a second heartbeat for your lower legs. That slow pace isn't optional, it's the actual mechanism at work. Rush this, and you'll bounce on your ankles without ever fully squeezing the calf. Slow and deliberate is what empties the veins and pulls fresh blood down into the foot. This was the first exercise where Karen felt something shift in real time. By roughly her 15th repetition, warmth had returned to her left foot, a warmth she'd genuinely forgotten the feeling of. That warmth is simply blood arriving in tissue that's been cold and quiet for a long time, and for anyone living with neuropathy, it's one of the most hopeful sensations there is. Exercise 3, seated foot rolling with a towel. This exercise reaches a nerve pathway most foot exercises miss entirely, the one running along your inner arch. The plantar fascia, the band of tissue along the bottom of your foot, is one of the most nerve-rich structures in your entire body. Years of thick-soled shoes and flat floors leave it understimulated, and those nerve endings gradually go quiet. You don't need anything special for this. A rolled-up hand towel works perfectly. How to do it? Place the towel under the arch of your right foot. Roll your foot slowly forward and back, from the ball of the foot down to the heel, pressing gently down as you go. You're not stretching here, you're stimulating. Search for spots that feel tight, tender, or completely numb, and when you find a numb spot, stop and hold steady pressure there for 10 full seconds. That sustained pressure gives the nerve a signal it likely hasn't received in a very long time. Roll the right foot for 60 seconds, then switch and roll the left. Here's something that surprises most people. This move also supports balance. The nerve endings in your arch connect through a reflex pathway running up to your spinal cord, feeding your sense of where your body is in space. What's called proprioception. Wake those endings back up and your balance genuinely sharpens, which means a lower risk of falling. All of that from a simple towel under your foot. When Karen first tried this, she couldn't feel the towel under her right foot at all. By her second week, she could. By the third, she could distinguish the difference between the ball of her foot and her heel as she rolled across it. That return of sensation wasn't a miracle. It was consistent stimulation, meeting a nervous system that was still able to respond. If your towel feels too firm or too soft, simply adjust the roll. Looser for a gentler touch, tighter for more pressure. The goal is steady stimulation you can genuinely feel, never a sharp wince. Exercise 4. Seated shin taps and ankle circles. This is the one everyone's been waiting for, the exercise that finally gave Karen her feet back. If your lower legs feel heavy or seem to switch off after you've been sitting a while, the muscle running down the front of your shin, the tibialis anterior, has gone dormant. That muscle lifts the front of your foot when you walk, and when it weakens, the foot begins to drag just slightly. That tiny drag is exactly what catches a toe on a loose mat or a raised edge, turning an ordinary step into a fall. It's also fed by the perineal nerve, one of the nerves neuropathy affects most often, so we're going to wake it directly. Shin taps. Sit tall, both feet flat, heels planted on the floor. Lift the front of both feet, toes, and the ball of the foot as high as you can and hold for 2 seconds, feeling the muscle working hard down the front of your shin. Lower slowly. That's 1 shin tap. Do 15. Ankle circles. Lift your right foot a couple of inches off the floor and draw 10 slow, wide circles with your ankle. 5 in one direction, 5 in the other, making each circle as large as comfortably possible. Set it down and repeat with the left foot. You might feel a sharp tingling spreading up into your foot during this exercise. That's nerve tissue answering the call, your nervous system telling you it's still here and still able. Karen felt this on her 3rd day. a tingling down the front of her right shin that felt different from her usual neuropathy, sharper, more purposeful. She described it as feeling like a current rather than a fog. That difference between the dull, heavy fog of neuropathy and the sharp, bright current of a nerve switching back on is how you know the work is reaching the tissue that needs it most. The ankle circles at the end connect everything: the shin, the ankle, the foot, all in one continuous motion. They carry the signal from the shin through the ankle joint and out into the foot, joining the entire pathway of the lower leg into one loop. By the time you finish them, every part you've just activated is communicating with the rest again. That's exactly why this move comes last. It doesn't only train a muscle, it reconnects the whole circuit. The cool down. Now we settle everything down. Place both feet flat and press them firmly into the floor for 5 seconds, then release completely. Gently massage the top of each foot from ankle to toe, 10 slow strokes on each side. Finally, shake both feet loosely from the ankle for 10 seconds, feeling circulation moving through tissue that was cold and quiet when we first began. The 3 mistakes. Mistake 1. Rushing the calf pump. This is the single most common way people undercut this routine. A fast, bouncy version never fully squeezes the calf muscle, which means the circulation benefit largely disappears. Slow and deliberate is the actual mechanism, not a suggestion. Mistake 2. Keeping socks and shoes on for the toe raise and towel roll. Bare skin against the floor and towel provides sensory input your nerves have likely been missing for years. Doing these 2 exercises with socks on significantly dampens that input. Mistake 3. Skipping days because nothing feels different yet. Karen's own recovery unfolded gradually. Real change by day 3, more by week 1, further progress by week 3. Nerve tissue responds to consistency in a way it simply doesn't respond to occasional effort. The absence of an immediate sensation isn't a sign it isn't working. Building the daily routine. Here's the full sequence once a day. The warm-up first, ankle rolls, and foot taps. Then the toe raise and spread, the seated calf pump with foot press, the towel roll for each foot, the shin taps and ankle circles. And finally, the cool down. The entire routine takes roughly 10 minutes. It doesn't need to happen at any particular time of day, though many people find doing it in the evening before the hours when tingling tends to worsen works especially well. What matters most is doing it every single day, not occasionally when you remember. Karen's full recovery. Here's where Karen is now. She sleeps through the night. The tingling hasn't vanished completely, and I want to be honest with you. Neuropathy generally needs steady, ongoing management rather than a single fix. But it's softened enough that it no longer wakes her. Her feet feel like feet again in the morning. She walks to her kitchen without pressing them into the floor just to feel something underneath her. She wears the shoes she genuinely loves again. None of that came from a pill or a procedure. It came from about 10 quiet minutes in a chair, done every day until her nervous system remembered how to listen. Safety note. If you have severe diabetes, open wounds on your feet, or you notice sudden, rapid changes in sensation, please check with your doctor before starting this routine. It's designed for gently reawakening tired, age-related nerve tissue, not for managing an acute or rapidly changing condition. For the large majority of people dealing with the slow, gradual tingling and numbness so many describe, this routine is genuinely safe to begin today. Your numb feet aren't something you simply have to accept as a permanent part of getting older. 4 chair moves, 10 minutes, done consistently, is what changed things for Karen, and it's available to you starting right now. If this helped you, subscribe. I put out a new video every week, no fluff, just what actually matters for your health after 60. Next week, I'm covering the real reason your grip strength predicts how long you'll live, and a simple test you can do at home in under a minute. If today made sense to you, that one is going to land even harder. Try the first exercise right now before you do anything else. That's exactly where Karen started too. I'll see you next week.